The Buffalo Bills made some free agency moves, and the Sabres continue to disappoint year after year. Now 13 years without a playoff berth, but we're leaving that all behind today to celebrate the 2-year anniversary of the Buffalonian Podcast. All right, let's go. What's up, brother? We are back with the Buffalonian Podcast. I'm Joe Callie. As always, I'm joined by none other than Dom Loss. And Dom, what's up, brother? How we feeling today? Sorry, I'm done. I swear. How we feeling?
Just wait till you curse once.
Sorry for cussing. Yeah.
But no, it's great to be here for the 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, I kind of forget it's coming up until it was like this week. Kind of popped out of nowhere, I guess, right?
Yeah, and honest to God, we didn't really know what we were gonna do last year. We did the
the draft. Yeah, you got a little frog in the throat there.
Gosh,
yeah.
little draft, a little misty in here. 2 years. But I do have a surprise for the 2-year anniversary. Obviously, we're not talking Bills, Sabres. I know opening day for the Bisons,
right?
Bandits, but
we'll talk about that in due time. And the Sabres, we should just never speak of again. Sell the team, send them to Austin, Texas, whatever. But
selfishly, this episode's about us.
Yes.
But I do have a little bit of a surprise.
Oh.
So as many of you may know, that it is technically 2 years since we started airing the Buffalonian Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But as we talk about our journey, in December of 2021, right after the Bills versus the Buccaneers, Joe and I recorded an unaired pilot episode in his garage.
Are we airing it?
We're not airing it, but I do have.
What do you have? Oh, gosh. The suspense is killing me. It's terrible. Make it last.
My Tremaine Edmonds jersey.
Oh, my God. The classic he wore. Look at the numbers faded off the back. We're getting it on, and the bucket hat. If I had known.
That's why it's called a surprise.
Yeah. Could have worn the bro toga. That's been in the closet for a while, I feel like. I haven't touched that. Look at that. Wow, it's like Time Machine 2 years ago. Actually, a little over that, but yeah, we did have an unaired episode. It resides on my phone. Maybe should we air it sometime?
I think this looks stupid with the headphones. How bad does this look?
If you're watching on video, Dom, we can lose the bucket hat, but Dom tried to completely replicate his.
We'll put that. You didn't see it. Whatever.
Yeah, no. I wish we had a photo of it to throw up for anyone watching on video, but I'll explain to you what it was. We're in my back garage, right? The first time we had the inkling to do this, right? So what it was after the Bills-Bucks game. That's what you said it was?
What I'll say is this, because I guess we were just, talking about our coming up for the 2 years. We kind of had this itch to do it. Pork Chop Sports was the first iteration. You can still find those on Spotify. And then a while went by, and an important... I believe it was November, right? November of 21. We were in that thrift shop, and you decided you were going.
Yeah, I was an education major. Let's say that time has passed. I was an education major starting out in college, and then I decided from this guy and my girlfriend Morgan, both of them, convinced me to do what I want to do. And one thing that Dom said that will forever stick with me is I can't see you grading papers for the next 40 years, and that hit hard because guess what? I couldn't see myself doing that either. So there then became, what am I going to do? And Dom mentioned something about why don't we start a pod, and why don't you talk about sports? Because we did a lot of that just by ourselves for fun, right? So it was just, why don't we just try doing it for real? I ended up switching my major to journalism, getting a certificate in sports communications. The Buffalonian is attempted, I would say. We didn't have any equipment. It was, again, a phone in the middle of the table, but in an echoey garage. It was not a closed environment.
We didn't have a video, though. We had a camera.
We did. We had a camera up on
How did we set that up?
It was on a literal stepladder.
Yeah.
Like in front of a pop-up table. Like
your dad interrupted us.
Yeah, because he's like, what are you guys doing back here? Like, just out of nowhere. So, whatever. That passed. We thought it was put to bed. There was always the hope of maybe doing one, but we thought it was put to bed. And then a couple months later down the road, it was go time. And, Mike Marino, who was originally with us, was in too. We all went into it, and we recorded the pilot episode, which we talked about the weather on for like 5 minutes. That was pretty bad. I mean, I can't listen back to those first episodes. I'm going to be honest with you. They're pretty rough. So we appreciate anyone who listened to those and has been with us since. But
no, I think it was weird. I don't know what. Honestly, God, like I feel old saying this, but like 2 years ago was like long time, and I don't fully remember why we decided to start it up again. I'm going to be honest. I think it was
we were tossing the pigskin around out in your front yard.
Yeah, I mean it was something like some event that we were doing probably, and we were just like, hey, like we have time, like let's just shoot it.
You know what it was? The Bills' playoff win against the Patriots. I'm telling you, I think because we were in the garage for that again, and we got all excited. We were screaming "motor in" for Devin Singletary. I think that reignited a lot,
Sure, because that was you, me, and Mike.
Yeah, and then my brother Chunk and others were there.
But I think that did motivate. Like that was kind of like, oh, that was kind of So I think you're right on that. But there was still 2 months on the line. I don't really remember what the specific like moment was that we decided we were gonna do it again, and it literally was probably a table, an oval table,
a little circle
table, and it was the three of us with an iPhone in the middle, and
my legs kept falling asleep because we were on bar stools for so long, and it was audio only. It was interesting. We did it like if you've listened back, then I recorded these little fill-ins between segments of take the podcast to the next level. We're looking for sponsors, all this junk. So that was a little crazy, but it's ended up working out for the. I mean, look at where we're at now.
Well, I think when we look back at those moments, like they're kind of cringy.
We laugh though,
but like I think it's funny because like this isn't a great example for today, but like. In between takes, like we cut up those videos a lot because like the three of us could not stop laughing.
I have all the outtakes.
Like we could not stop laughing because it was just kind of uncomfortable. It's not like we were uncomfortable with each other, but like it was kind of like a little nerve-wracking. Like
you have a microphone in front of you now, and it's just kind of like
a microphone, but
it's a phone in the middle.
You're phone mic.
You're not just, for lack of a better term, shooting the shit with your buddies. You're essentially
sorry for cussing.
Sorry for cussing. You're essentially. Everything's getting recorded. So that was the most nerve-wracking part, and knowing it was going out to the public. I hated listening to the first one after we did it because like my parents would play it in the house and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like
I still don't let my dad play on the podcast.
No, I don't. Right. I can't.
Cause I'm okay listening to it by myself, but like when I'm around others, like I just get like kind of like it's still weird for me.
I don't like listening to other people listen to me.
Yeah.
And us. Like
but I mean
whatever.
But like I think and I mean, I was thinking about this today, like driving in. I was like, how many different locations have we like shot the pod?
Well, there's been a lot.
Like we did the iPhone in
the middle of the table in your basement.
Then further in my basement.
Yeah.
The outdoor pod.
Oh, that was that was wonderful. We did that a couple times, didn't we?
Well, the first time it was, yo, Joe, like.
What was
do you think the birds like that are chirping in the background? Do you think they're gonna get in?
I was like, no, the mic won't pick it up because that was our first go with the first set of microphones we had. That was like our first new piece of technology.
I don't know why we decided to do it outside.
Because it was nice. It was still like 70 degrees outside, and the sun was up, and we had a bigger table with more comfortable chairs out on your back porch. So we decided to do it there, and all you hear, it sounds like we're literally sitting in the middle of a rainforest cafe. Like, that's what it sounds like.
I mean, there's just so many stories like out there. The Buffalonian Bowl this past year, that was outside. I mean, we tried in here with that light in the back.
The floodlight for construction.
Floodlight.
That burned. It was so hot. Like, it just increased the temperature of the room like none other.
But that got us into, with Eric and all that. So that was kind of chill.
Yeah, the network picked us up. And
are you showing off the light?
Yeah, we got the light right here. Thank you. Yeah. This thing is if you're watching on video, it's legitimately what you see hanging in a construction zone. If you're listening on audio, it's just it puts out a lot of heat. And when we did try coming in here to the current studio, which we've vamped a little bit from what it was, I mean, you can tell we have the photos in the back and everything. Now I'm going to try and get this out of here. when we first did it, it was just, remember, it was already 80 degrees in here because it was summertime. Then we added that floodlight on top of it. It would get up to like 90 in here. It felt like.
Was hot. It was dark because we would do it at night, and it
like
was also
8 p.m. Yeah.
Luckily we figured out how to get like air in here, so it's not as. It was pretty musty when we first
tried
here. Yeah, and then
just no one's up here, so
it's also kind of. Then we did a lot of. I mean, we still do a little bit of online with the StreamYard stuff, but that became a big part. And then obviously with the betting on the Bills, and I just think it's funny like how much the pod has really changed from 2 years, because obviously we went down from 3 people to 2.
And then we added a wonderful producer.
Then we added a actual producer.
Yeah.
We had a segment about. We had like a debate segment. I think one of the first debate
we tried to be Stephen A. there with the debate.
The first debate segment was should NFL like linebackers or defensive linemen wear single digits, something like that.
Right, because that was when the 0 was, and all the number stuff was happening.
We had March Madness.
Boxing. We attempted
boxing, golf. Like, it was just, I mean, we didn't. I look back, and there's also some stuff that we probably should like. I like the rundown. We should probably figure out the rundown.
Figure out a way to get that back.
Would you rather, like, the trivia, like some of that stuff that we've cut? Like, I think we could. I hope that we're able to kind of maybe get back into that a little bit. Find a way, maybe not that specific way, but like, I mean, there's been some stuff that we've cut that have been like really nice, but like just trying to keep like become more concise with the rundown stuff for you guys to make it a better product, but also just the mic quality. Like, we went from
USB mics to XLR mics right now, and originally from an iPhone to one mic shared between the 3 of us, which was
then
echoey,
2 mics,
then 2 mics between the 3 of us, and then 3,
and then mics.
These mics now, and you can hear the difference.
And the cameras, was just, it's been an interesting.
It's been a run, and that I think that's the biggest thing about it, and I don't know. We have consistent listeners, and that's the coolest part about it. Is when we first initially started doing this, it wasn't for anything, right? We didn't think of a network or anything to join. It was more like, why don't we just record our thoughts? Like any good podcast starts out with, except ours are on Buffalo Sports, which happen to have a lot of competition within the market, and we're still getting a good share, which is awesome, and we appreciate anyone out there who's listening. And this episode isn't necessarily about the sports surrounding it, but it's about the upbringing on 2 years later from the pilot, quote unquote. You can go back and listen to that and see the difference for yourself.
I think for us, though, it's always been, it's always weird. It's always been about doing it together, though. I don't think it's I think it's always been cool that we've been part of the network and we have the following, but it never was. It
was never for that.
It was never for that. It was always like. It was
a way to keep us together as we grew apart from high school.
True,
right?
I think
as we moved into big boy jobs.
That sounds weird to say.
No, but it's true.
But it's true. It was a situation where like COVID just had obviously. Yeah. COVID was kind of still in 21, kind of still a thing. So we were kind of reamping to kind of being able to be with everyone, and it was kind of a situation where like with people's schedules, like it was hard for like obviously our big friend group to like be together or whatever, and like. I don't know. It was kind of an escape, and
it was. We were in college at that point, so it's just.
I'm still in college.
You're still in college. I recently graduated, but still, it's just. It was tough. It was nice to come here and do this to escape from the everyday, thoughts. I guess, right? Oh, my term paper's due on Friday. Oh, I got an exam to take. It was a nice escape from reality, if you will, and. I don't know. It's furthered a lot in each of our. I feel like we've grown from doing this as well, right? I mean,
yeah, I think
I definitely have. This is luckily the career I guess I'm going into, so it's kind of helped a lot of that along with a lot of film and stuff like that from this getting sent to my bosses and stuff like that. But
I think the improvement's like off the charts, to be honest. Like, I mean, I'm.
This might be a little biased there,
but it's not even. But it's not even from my individual Like, I think I've grown more comfortable over the mic. Like, I was always the guy that was, like, really laughy and kind of, like...
Yeah, and I just didn't give a shit about the Sabres. Sorry for cussing, but, yeah, I didn't care about the Sabres at all.
It was a situation where, like, I was kind of just doing it to do it, and I think this has been kind of a cool experience. I think you've improved the most, to be honest, because you were, as you said, you didn't give a shit about the Sabres. So
I didn't have a reason to follow the hockey team.
But you didn't, like... like your knowledge of sports has grown, and you used to call everyone a fraudulent scumbag, which I'm glad you.
I'm
glad that. But like, I think that's also has been so refreshing about these last couple of years is that like I think we've all grown to really care for each other, not just on the mic but off the mic.
100%.
And like,
not that we didn't before, but it's a deeper understanding
yes,
for sure.
It's different, and I would say like especially over the last year. A lot of changes have happened in the friend group.
Yeah.
And that's been really tough. And obviously you've graduated and I'm about to graduate in May, so there's also kind of the unknown factor. And
right, like where we, if a job comes up elsewhere, what happens and stuff like that, right? So it's a way to keep it together. You're getting choked up there? You all right?
A little bit.
A little bit? Yeah.
It's just a situation where, like, the last year, like, the first year of us doing this was kind of always
the hangout.
Whatever. Like, I don't really, like, it was
This isn't by the way, just a disclaimer, this isn't, this sounds final. It's not us ending this anytime soon.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But, like, the first year, the first year of us doing it was always kind of like, oh, it was the three of us. Just kind of always being there, like whatever, and like obviously us losing Mike, and then kind of everything that's happened since then. Like it was tough, doing this was kind of for a little bit. There was a little bit of an adjustment, right, with the two of us.
Yeah, that's honestly, when we originally tried to do it in the garage, we said there's no way we could do this, the two of us. We needed that third person, and that just kind of shows how much we've
grown. But I think for those couple months kind of after that, just from a personal perspective, like it was kind of weird doing it.
Yeah, like it didn't feel the same as it did.
It didn't feel quite the same. Like it felt like, obviously we lost a member and it was kind of still us, and it was the same like we're talking about the same shit and we're doing the same stuff, but it didn't quite feel like it just didn't quite feel the same. But then I think growing into our relationship, continuing to expand, adding Mooch to the production to make it better. Like I think we've kind of reinvented ourselves, and again, I just really appreciate all the listeners listening to us. It means a lot, and again, I appreciate everything that you and Mooch do for me just on here, and because I know as Mooch alluded to, I don't know where to put the mic sometimes, and especially just off camera as well. I really appreciate it. And listen, it hasn't been I think I could say this. I know this is gonna sound weird. Oh, you're sounding all depressed or whatever. But like, it truly. I think every person in our friend group, it hasn't been the easiest year.
No, there's always been this year. I mean, we're all we're on that fringe of adulting. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of hitting hard a little bit in some cases, and it's just. This is kind of still that outlet for me, at least.
For me as well. I think
go back to the roots, if you will. And
I think that's why we continue to do it. Right? It's not like
every week. I look forward to coming here and doing it. Honestly, it's just
it's like to me. It's like it's always been this. We don't make any money off this.
No,
and we're probably in the net negative of money, which is fine because I think. I've gotten out of this experience more than what money can do, right?
Yeah, right.
Just the strengthening of everyone's relationships, kind of being able to, having a tough week, just being able to sit here and literally, I can tell you right now, as if you ever let like certain listeners just to be able to sit in our process, we got here at 3:00 and we didn't start filming until 4:30.
Until 4:30, and it's now been
because we've just been. But I think that's what makes us is that this isn't.
It's not the talking heads, if you will, right?
It's not like
it's down to earth.
It's not elite. Listen. I say this honestly, and it's not even just to us. We're not like elite analysts. Like we're not going to be able to be like, oh yeah, like they.
We're armchair coaches.
Like we're just kind of the typical fan, and we're like the typical friend group that kind of just.
Well, that's what it's for.
And I hope like people who listen, like if they want to start a podcast, like
do it.
It's like it's never. I think.
It's never a bad venture.
It's never a bad venture. I would just say if you're ever going to start a podcast, you just have the expectation that it's never – don't make it more than what it is. It's always a growing opportunity for yourself and for the people that are in the process with you.
Yeah.
It's great to have the listening fan base, and if your listeners go up or they just stay the same, it shouldn't matter what you do. As long as you love what you're doing, continue doing it. And as much as the Sabres drive me crazy, I enjoy losing my shit with Joe every week about it because it's just kind of a fun thing to do. I enjoy doing it. I know recently the last month have been kind of hectic, but I enjoy Mooch producing the shows for the most part until he messes up and doesn't put our mics on.
Oh my gosh. Listen, I had him laughing. I said, "What's up, brother?" And just a disclaimer for all of you who don't know, that's the real sketch, by the way. It's just taking the world by storm right now. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's furthering our development, right? And we have, I guess, like, again, I don't plan on stopping this anytime soon. And no matter what happens, whatever jobs take us anywhere, there's still ways to do it.
Yeah,
and get back to the roots, right? So that's what it is at the end of the day, and start that, right? And word of advice, if you are out there and you don't want to get lost in the woods of podcasts now because there's just an exponential amount. Your average podcast lasts like 7 days, 7 episodes, right? Like that's the count. You know where we're at right now? Do you know the number?
Are you counting like special shows?
Everything. Every episode we've released, where are we at? Where do you think?
2 years is what? 104 weeks, so 100 plus, probably I would say around 200.
So we have 142 published episodes.
God, I'm so far off.
Well, remember, we have like the end of the off season where we miss like 3 weeks. We go on a hiatus for a little bit, then we come back for the season. But I mean, that's 142 episodes compared to the average of 7 that they last, right? So like that's the big thing in itself. It's consistency, and I don't know. I enjoy doing this. Sabres lost 62 last night. I didn't even want to talk about it, but I was at the game. It was devastating. I placed a bet, won $160. That's what I took from the night. But I still look forward to coming in here and talking about how god awful that team played.
Even though we're not talking about it, but still, like today's a different circumstance, right? It's the 2-year. Next time we talk about the Sabres, I can't wait to talk about how they need to clear everything out. And no, I'm kidding, but I can't wait to talk about it. Like that's truthfully it, and it's not what you're talking about; it's who you're talking with, and I think that's what it is at the end of the day. That was a good quote.
Yeah, you like that?
Put that as a T-shirt.
Yeah, put it on.
Did you steal that?
I crocheted it on my pillow last night, but
no, I think, I just think it's 2 years is 2 years, and whoever, it doesn't matter if there's no one listening or millions of people listening or how many people we have.
You're gonna see both.
Like
you're gonna get a good one. You're gonna get a bad one. Let me tell you.
But it's a situation where as long as you as the podcaster like doing what they're doing, like,
yeah,
who's to tell you to stop? Because like, who cares?
I mean, we're in the net negative, I guess, money wise, but at the same time, it's like,
who cares? Like
it's not even that net negative though. It's probably like not even a total of $200. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Probably. I mean,
like it's just us buying the equipment. The network actually provides us hosting for the pod. We don't have to pay for any of that. You know what I mean? So it's like that helps, and that's been one of the great things is you get
relationships.
You connect with people. Like we use LinkedIn. We were just talking about it beforehand. You know what I mean? You connect with people. That's all you got to do, and we've made a lot of great connections. We're looking to get some great guests in here too. We're gonna expand the show even more. It's evolved so much. I mean, like we said, those StreamYard ones used to. They would be interesting because it was like producing / you know what I'm saying? Like on my end, like clicking the music and stuff. Having Mooch come in here and produce now is like the best thing we could have done, truthfully. And like the whole season, it was just like we knew what we were doing coming in here. He was going to execute. As a radio producer myself, the respect out there because he's doing more than I do. On we have the audio boards and stuff like that at work, but he's doing all the video stuff, which I don't know anything about. So. Other than StreamYard, it's very streamlined, but we want to keep that going.
It's a fantastic 2 years. We're going to keep her going. I think we have a lot,
got a lot more to do.
With this trio, I think we got a lot more shelf life left.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think, we have the Buffalonian Bowl coming up. I think we have, I'll tease something. I think we have maybe a little something maybe outside the sports realm coming up.
Yeah. Some social media stuff for you, maybe.
Some social media stuff, and obviously here, we don't fully know what we're going to be doing because the Sabres have 9 games left, and we're gonna figure out a way to make.
They have 9 games left, and I don't think they're going to win a single one. But
make it interesting.
We'll see what happens. The meaningful games in March went out the window real quick.
I will say this though: we are taking ideas for the 3-year anniversary. Obviously, first year was the draft. This year was kind of just telling our story, which I think is
2 years is a mark where you do tell a story. Though.
I just think it's just all about who you're doing it with and being consistent and just doing what you love.
I think it's, again, going back to who you do it with. You don't even you develop the chemistry, right? Like, I know Dom's stats and analytics all the way. He knows his stuff no matter what. So I know if I say something absolutely egregious, he's got it. He's got it over there. You learn to play off of each other, and it's been a great 2 years of doing it.
I think that's the big thing as well, is that like
compliment people.
Is
right?
that Joe and I? Yeah, well, it seems like we agree on a lot. Like, we do it in different. I think what makes us so
different trains of thought.
That was a good way to say. I was gonna say different idea, like different idea point. Like, I'm always kind of the numbers based, and Joe's kind of the
fan
that's
the
loud.
Emotions,
that's like,
the fan,
but like, I'm the quiet numbers guy, and I think that's like, me rubbing off on Joe has helped, and him rubbing off on me, so I'm a little bit louder, a little bit more,
more outgoing.
Emotional. Yeah, outgoing. So I just think we like
it complements.
It complements so well, and I think, again, if you're starting a podcast, would really, do it. You could do it by yourself, but I just think it's more special doing it with like people that like every week. Like, if we didn't have this podcast, like, yeah, listen.
We play a lot of Xbox.
We play a lot of Xbox. We hang out, but like,
he drives me crazy playing sports games. Like the other night, the show, I just can't do anything against this guy. He's got me on the slider, but nonetheless.
But it's a situation where it's like, if we didn't do this every week, like, yeah, we'd probably like make it more apparent to do other stuff, but like, it wouldn't probably be a weekly thing. And I think now, as you're taking like the unknown chapter of us, getting into the job force, I think it was easy to take this for granted, I think.
These 2 years where it's been
a considerable long a time, but now it's like
we're going to just roll with the punches and deal with it.
But I do have one thing.
Oh, what you got? You want to do one thing sports related today?
One thing sports related today to end the show.
Okay.
I do have a would you rather.
Oh, we're resurrecting the would you rather. Would you look at that?
I teased it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. What you got?
Would you rather? You ready for this one?
I'm ready. I'm staring right into your eyes. What do you got?
Would you rather have to do a podcast show on something completely you don't know for 40 minutes? Mm-hmm. So it could be just think. What's the first thing that comes out of your mind? That's like just random. That's not sports related.
Croquet. That is a sport.
Croquet is sports.
Star Trek. I know absolutely nothing about it.
Okay. Would you rather do that, or would you have to, for 365 straight days, have to have a 30-minute podcast?
365 straight days, I'd rather have the 30-minute podcast.
Instead of just one podcast,
Yep, I'm telling you.
You could have like 10. I'll give you. You could get.
I'm
10
not
minutes.
a good bullshitter, and you know that. I can't do that. That's like fear mongering in me. I
really?
Can't do that. Yeah, I'd rather talk. I could sit down and spew stuff about the Bills for 30 minutes a day. I'm telling you that. You know what I mean?
I just don't like.
If it's only 30 minutes,
I guess.
I think we're almost at it. We push like 45.
Yeah, but that's once a week.
Yeah. But I essentially at work, I've through a week, I've had to do it for an hour by myself.
Yeah, but you had to do it for 52 consecutive weeks.
I know, but there's a lot. Like in the NFL season, the NFL is a 12-month sport. Like I think I could spew about the Bills. Star Trek, I know nothing about. That would freak me out. How long does it have to be? An hour? The Star Trek one?
45 minutes.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Give you 10 minutes of prep. You get like 10 minutes.
10 minutes of prep. Okay, I could do that in 10 minutes of prep.
Okay, so you would change. Okay, so
yeah,
5 minutes of prep.
I'd still be able to get something, right? Like figure something out. Like I'd know what's his name? Who's the Spock? That guy? That's the only guy I know, and that's
they are making another movie apparently.
Yeah, Live Long and Prosper, right? I remember our bus guy used to do that in elementary school. That's the only reason I know what that is.
No, so I thought I would do a. I'm trying to think of my answer. I did think when I was thinking of the would you rather, I was like, you know what? semi-sports related, but like mostly podcast related.
Yeah. What would you do? Which one? Would you do the 365 days of 30 minutes of something or the well, let's just say 45 minutes one day of something you have no idea about with 5 minutes of prep time? 45 minutes is a long. That clock ticks slow when you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? If you know what you're talking about, 30 minutes goes by in a flash. That's kind of where I was on that.
Yeah, but that would be like doing it every day. I just feel like I would get burnt out. Like I feel like you need it's not like, oh, you couldn't be a radio host. It's like, no, but like radio hosts get a day or two like in between.
They get the weekends.
They get the weekends. So, like I could do it. I could do it as like a job. I just don't think I would be able to do it. And they also get like a certain vacation.
Well, they also
sick time too.
It's
like,
caller based, by the way.
But if you're sick,
you get people calling in. That also extends a show. You know what I'm saying? Because you can leave it to the callers.
Okay, if I said no prep time, no call-ins.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Would you do the 40-minute?
I do the one every day.
Really? Even no call-ins?
Nope.
Okay. You know what? I think for the fun value, I would just do the 45 minutes by myself.
Just see how it goes.
I would like what would your topic be?
On the Star Trek one that I said?
Yeah, what would you do for me? Like just a random one.
Ooh. I don't know what you don't know.
I actually know nothing about Star Trek, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that'd be a decent one.
So I would have to talk about the Enterprise, Spock, what is it, Dr. McCoy. Who is Benji? Is Benji the sidekick?
What about
Simon Pegg? And then Chris Pine was
entertainment news. I don't know anything about that stuff besides.
I just think it's a good question. My other would you rather? The reason why it took me a minute to like think of the would you rather is because I had like two in my head. So I'll just say the other one. I'll say the other one. Would you rather have the co-host, if say one of us can't make it for like a long period of time, would you rather have it be Stash, Dish, and Ginge or Peachin? Our brother who knows nothing about sports.
Yeah, well, we'd be throwing him into the would you rather essentially that we just did.
Nor does Stash, Dish, and Ginge either. He doesn't know anything about sports either. So you're basically going, which person would you rather like know that they have nothing to offer value wise? Like I said, value wise is harsh. I'm sorry. I meant like sports talk wise, but maybe you could figure out a way to put the
I'll take video editing skills over anything, and that'd be Chunk. That'd be your brother.
But you still your producer.
Huh?
You still have the producer.
I know that, but he could make valuable content and speak on something, I guess.
I would also take Patrick.
I would take him. No offense to Status Dish and Ginge, but you should see the compilations that his brother Patrick makes. They're pretty remarkable. So I'd take that all day, every day.
I would agree.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to do that one, because I thought that one was going to be like no offense to Status Dish and Ginge as he's Peachin hasn't.
I mean, we would have an all lost pod essentially.
Peachin hasn't even made a
he hasn't made an appearance. No,
but,
he hasn't.
Yeah, Status Dish and Ginge has, unfortunately. No, he still gets the L.
Yes, yeah, he still gets the L. He's been on it. Yeah, we'll wait and see. We're gonna think about the draft stuff. I know the Bisons are playing, so we're gonna have to work around that and see what happens here. We don't know work schedules, but we're hoping to maybe put something together for the Bills pick at 28. That was a lot of fun last year. Seeing Dalton Kincaid get picked. That was an interesting one. You can go back and listen to that if you want. There's a lot you can go back to and listen to. About 2 years worth.
142 episodes.
142 episodes. 2 years worth of episodes you can go back and check out. Oh man, it's been an intense, fun, lot of ups and downs. Of course, 2 years. I always worried about working with close friends and even family. Is this a program note? I don't know if anyone knows. The relation. Dom and Mooch are actually my cousins, funnily enough. So, we that's how it is. So, second cousins, though, I think, right? Is that the relation? I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
my dad.
We grew up together.
Parents were our parents.
Our parents are cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that you know.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You're right. You're correct. My bad.
Yes. So we grew up together. Still, I know their family. They're still just buddies over anything, but. It's been a wild 2 years. Can't wait for a couple more. Whatever the future holds, we'll figure something out. Whether it's over the airwaves or just here, we'll figure something out. I don't know.
Thank you for listening, though. We really do. We really do appreciate it.
We do appreciate it. I know today's a mushy gushy, just 2 year. It's not really what the listener base is used to, but we appreciate all of you out there listening and keeping it going because. I mean, yeah, we say, listener, no listener, but it's nice to know people are out there listening.
Nice to know people outside of this room also care about
exactly
what we do.
And we are in such a passionate area for Buffalo, like for sports in general, right? The Bills, Sabres, Bandits, Bisons even. There's a new USL soccer team coming, so we don't know what's going to go on there. We'll wait and see. Probably have some news on that next week, I would assume, by next pod. That'll be interesting. And there's a huge sports base here, and there's some coverage, and you get the talking heads, you get the big guys who are self-proclaimed statisticians, unlike Ginge. Or you get, as it says in the description, made by Buffalonians for Buffalonians. So that's what you get when you listen to this, and we hope you continue to. It's been a wild, fun 2 years. Thank you for me, to you, Dom, and Mooch for hopping on and doing everything you guys do every time. It's nothing but a blast, nothing short of a blast. But
thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Any closing remarks?
No, I only hope that.
Can only go up from here, right?
I only hope that eventually this podcast, we could eventually talk about some Sabres playoff games and hopefully for a Bill Super Bowl. But you know what?
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that. But that's going to do it for this edition, 2-year edition of the Buffalonian Podcast. I'm Joe Cali. As always, I'm joined by none other than Dom Loss, and thank you to our producer Mooch for everything you do behind the scenes for this past year. Since we brought you on, it's been nothing short of a blast. But
do you want to get a face cam?
Do you want to pop in? No.
Well.
We got to get you on a mic here sometime. All right, sometime we'll get him on mic. Here we go. Without further ado, that's going to do it. Dom, how do you always end these, buddy? For the 2 years,
looking around the camera. Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills. Sabres, do something. Jeez.